My name is Adeoye Salem, and welcome to Backyard, a Win Sports production. Today, I've got two of my biggest friends in the building. I've got Odafe, and then, of course, the super duper, the ever-believing Manchester United fan, Adeleke, label icon, Wembley. The funny thing is, whatever demeanor you see at the beginning of this show, kindly know that is not their regular look. That's not their regular face. But then Newcastle added some salt and pepper to the injury. Okay, so gentlemen, two outstanding Premier League managers have been inducted into the Hall of Fame. That's the Premiership Hall of Fame. They're the first to be inducted, and the question is this: how great were these managers? First of all, Sir Alex Ferguson joined Manchester United sometimes in 1986. Of course, that's November. And then, of course, his early seasons in Manchester United were not the kind of season that a modern-day manager would have to go through and probably still remain on his job. And then, of course, I nearly said Sir Alex Wenger. Okay, because he's actually a member of the Order of the British Empire. Arsene Wenger. Yes, not a sir. He's a member of the Order of the British Empire. And for some of us who, while growing up, we thought Arsene Wenger and Arsenal, or that Arsene Wenger actually owns Arsenal. At some point, we started calling him Arsene Wenger. So forgive us if you probably met someone like me while growing up and I said Arsene Wenger. It's all part of the process. Okay, so Arsene Wenger also joined 10 years later, and these two great gentlemen actually changed the face of the game. At least that's what we believe. But then I've got two Manchester United diehard fans, and then the question I'd like to ask you is this. First of all, I'll start with Sir Alex Ferguson. Is Sir Alex Ferguson the greatest manager of all time, the greatest Premier League manager of all time? It's always a difficult one. I think let me start with Odafe. Let me see where Odafe will take this.
Okay. Obviously, I'm not being biased now. I'm a Man United fan, obviously. Yes, Sir Alex Ferguson is the greatest Premier League manager of all time. He's won 38 titles? Yeah. In general, I think 11 Premier League titles, 13 Premier League titles, Champions League, FA Cups and the rest. I really cannot put a certain figure to it right now, but I know in total he has won 38 titles. That's big, that's massive, right?
So Wembley for you, how big, or is it the greatest or one of the greatest?
Majorly, if I have to quantify what greatness is all about, I think induction into that category, the Hall of Fame, Premiership Hall of Fame, has answered the question. And judging by the other coach, the other great coach beside him, judging by the number of trophies in which, as in head-to-head, you can see the difference even between both of them. So you can just deduce that Sir, with the name attached to with the accolades attached to his name, is really the South Premiership. As in, let's make it up. Since 1986 to 2013 when he leave, we still clamor for the beauty and the tempo they bring to both of them brought to the game. And what Alex Ferguson did with Manchester United was so great that nobody can really say this is not the greatest. I think it's the greatest.
Okay, so basically, if you say, okay, let's agree that based on titles, based on trophies won, 38 amazing trophies for Manchester United. 13. One single individual, one single manager won 13 outstanding Premier League titles for a single club, all by himself. Okay, when I say all by himself, because every manager need the players, but then of course that's why you manage the players. Do you think that his closest rival is who happens to be 10 Premier League titles short of Sir Alex, can actually still be regarded as his greatest rival, Wembley?
To be candid, I'm a lover of Arsene Wenger. This is the reason. I love what he did. After moving from Highbury, the transition from Highbury to even to the Emirates era, the creativity he brought to Arsenal, the free-flowing football, he had a picture in his mind, and he took his time. Even with the criticism that came around him, he nurtured the idea Before Premiership used to be the big bag, where everybody just running here and there and just you kick the ball to the flank and we cross the ball, people is knowing, we run from pillar to post and the goals came in, everybody shouted. But when he came, he had an idea that football can involve trophies and can still be beautiful to watch. So he brought entertainment into Arsenal, and this is just the result. People saw a different vibe of what football could have been. So by what he did, going back to the level of diet, as if you go back to the backroom stuff, he changed the diet, he invented the tiki-taka in Premiership, he brought entertainment, he brought a different feel. So you can see, that is greatness.
But when I actually look at Arsene Wenger and what he brought, it's not Wenger, it's Wenger. Forgive us if you call it Wenger. Do we have a choice? I'm an African man. Don't vex. Papa, I have a friend actually. His name is Adeoye. We all went to the University of Ibadan together, studied theatre arts together. He's so passionate about Arsene Wenger, and of course we used to call him Wenger's last son in Africa. But okay, now one of the things that I look at every time I think about Arsene Wenger and what he did and how, I always think that his introduction into Premier League, the style, the pattern, the system he brought actually woke up all other Premier League managers. I mean, do you agree with me on that one of the thing?
Yeah, sure, I do. It's just like what Label said. When he came into the Premier League, he redefined the style of football. He redefined how teams should play, how players should play, how you eat, how you play football and what you do. So as a Wenger, to an extent, I think he was like how do you say it in English? A mentor to other coaches coming and say, I want to be like Arsene Wenger. Why do you want to be like this man? He came in as a professor. I remember when Arsenal, when Arsenal finally signed him, there was a game that Arsenal played the day or a few days after. Then this guy, I've forgotten his name. He's a pundit now. He's always on SuperSport. I've forgotten his name now.
Tony Adams?
No, not Tony Adams. He's a black man. I think Ian Wright. Ian Wright, yes. So they interviewed him after the game and post-match analysis and all. So he was like, so the reporter said, so they've gotten Arsene Wenger. And it was like, Arsene who? do you get like Arsene who? Nobody knew about Arsene Wenger when he came.
I mean, from Japan.
Nobody, like a professor with his suit and these round glasses. Nobody knew about Arsene Wenger when he came. But it was like, it was a benchmark for success for other coaches. Everybody wanted to be like, yes. Everybody wanted to be like him.
I have this thing I like to this question. Not a question. Like a statement, which is also a question in any way. Do you think Arsene Wenger actually helped other coaches discover their hidden talent? Because fine, with all of the changes he brought, you would have expected him to run over other coaches, but then he could only win 3 Premier League titles. So, in essence, isn't that like a wake-up call? Didn't that serve as a wake-up call to other coaches?
I think basically, our visions differs. What we see as success differ. Some people they see a stereotype lifestyle, and they have another idea that can run by the side of it, which can outdate the whole lifestyle. Something I'm being a pace setter, like he already said. I think when he came in, his vision was not all about trophies. His vision was bigger than just trophies. He felt it is not the name, it is what is hidden in the container. That's why if you look at the names in which he brought, which later became great in time. At first, like when he came and he was Arsene who, Arsene what. So those other names too, later in future, became household names. And Reyes what, Ljungberg who, something now. So after a while, those names came around to be beautiful names that turned around what football used to be. As in, you are watching as Arsenal, and let's deduct the side of trophies. There's no time you as a football lover outside being an addict or as you're watching Arsenal, drop your club out of it and you're going to Arsenal like this is how football should play. Yes, this is football. This is lovely.
Okay, now the question then that I want to ask you this: when we look at this, when we look at both coaches, Arsene Wenger and then of course Sir Alex Ferguson, one of the things that served for their success is the fact that they had a long period to actually grow the team. It's as if that kind of patience is no longer in modern football. I mean, we're just seeing Brendan Rodgers leaving Leicester City according to reports by mutual consent. We've seen, of course, Antonio Conte, and somebody said something. He said that since Mauricio Pochettino left Tottenham, they haven't had it all together. So, do you think that would you say that longevity, that time to perfect their plans, which is something that can we say like what we're seeing with with Arsenal and Mikel Arteta? Do you think that modern coaches suffer that fate when they don't have the chance to build?
Yeah, obviously. As far as I'm concerned, yes. Take for instance this guy, former Arsenal player. I think their captain too. He was in Crystal Palace before he got sacked. Patrick Vieira. He did well last season.
Beautiful.
He did well last season. Fine, this season was a little bad for him, and we woke up one morning and the next thing, Patrick Vieira has been sacked.
He's good.
Why? No, for real. Like, why? This man literally did. I think they finished last season. They finished. That was like the highest. The position they were last season was the highest that they had finished. Yes, and they were playing good football. Do you understand? They were playing good football, but we woke up one morning and Patrick Vieira was gone. Chelsea sacks coaches anyhow.
Tuchel was ridiculous. I don't know why. I'll never know why.
Sacks coaches anyhow. So the period of Arsene Wenger and Sir Alex was 26 years. Wenger was 22 years. Imagine. I can't be in a company for 26 years. How old am I? But these guys were there for this period of times, and they brought in success to the club.
They left a legacy. And I think when you look at when they left, the clubs actually knew that a giant has left the building. I mean, look at, they've got before Eric Ten Hag now that to a large extent is now doing well. I mean, Manchester United experimented with David Moyes, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Jose Mourinho, Louis van Gaal. And
even Ralph Rangnick. Even Ralph Rangnick.
Even Giggs, bro.
Ryan Giggs, February manager.
Michael Carrick.
What Michael Carrick is doing well.
He's doing well in Middlesbrough or something.
And of course, it's amazing what is done. I mean, Chukwuakom now scoring, free scoring. He just unraveled that game. But whatever it is, I personally think that at the end of the day, maybe a lot of clubs, there's a craze for winning. There's a craze to want to win trophies, but I think that clubs would have to consider the need for urgent gratification.
I just feel I feel the problem surrounding that has to do with the monetary side of the business. In the past, I think it was much more of a passion, and the big clubs kind of have a hold on the monetary side of it. They were not threatened. But this recent time, it has become the lifeline. Based on the Gen Z era, what I really raking from this football business. So looking at football in general now, it has become more of 50% of money business than 50% of the game itself. So
I think it has always been a business per se.
Yeah,
do you understand?
It is wild now.
That's because there's a consciousness to it now. Everybody wants to play football. Any young boy you see on the street now wants to play football.
There's a
Project Mbappe and everything. So the owners of these clubs, apart from the owners of these clubs, even the fans associated with the club, there is a sense of success to it that we have to win titles.
That's the problem.
And in football, success, you cannot, in football, right? Maybe in your companies or whatever you're doing, you can only quantify success with if you are making profits in whatever you're doing, like in terms of money coming in and all. But in football, if you say I am a successful, or this club is a successful club, it depends on the type of or the amount of trophies that you've won.
I get you. But what I'm trying to say is, okay, let's look at the prime era of Barcelona. There was a succession from the era of Rijkaard to the era of what's it called? This Pepe. You could see what was being built, and there was a continuous approach towards it. There was a plan, and after the plan materialized, it took them for longer years. 10 years they were just there. They were the most feared. They were the best team in the whole world. El Clasicos was crazy, and they were just winning. Much of playing them, you could see the compactness between the players and the team. It took them time. That's why I said that's a project. Football is a project. But in the present day, everybody just wants to come in and reap. The club wants to reap. The players they forget reap. Yes, because it's a fact. It's a fact. Because it's a project. For example, look at. Sorry, I'm digressing. Look at Saka of Arsenal. Saka is a project that just materialized last season. It's a beauty, as I'm saying, but there's a time that people look at him and we say, Saka who? but as Arsenal saw something beautiful in him, and they took the idea of Arsene Wenger keeping those beautiful players that can grow with time, and after a while you can see the compact compactness of Arsenal team now under Arteta.
Do you think that clubs no longer want to take risks on prodigies? On youngsters, we've seen the likes of James Rodriguez fail. We've seen young prodigies that were all open will shine and take over. Oh, we've got a young football fan here. We've seen the likes of James Rodriguez and other youngsters who we thought would take the world by storm actually die off. So, do you think clubs don't want to take risks? They rather wait till you become a fine product, a finished article, and then they splash the cash?
Sorry, I remember when Mbappe started playing. When we started watching Mbappe play at Monaco. I think Monaco was in the Champions League that season when we all knew about Mbappe, about his pace, about his goal scoring ability and all. Everybody knew about him. This boy when he came, he was so good. Everybody wanted Mbappe. Rashford too, the same thing. He was so good. Everybody wanted this guy. When Ronaldo and Messi too were really young, everybody wanted these guys. You can see. So yeah. So if you are in a team and your team is, whether or not they are centered around young players that know how to play football, if you have a young player that is good, trust me, he will be in that team for life. Messi spent how many years in Barcelona? Almost all his life.
For me, in my mind, though we all see him in a PSG jersey. Yeah. For me, Lionel Messi is still a Barcelona player.
Still a Barcelona player. Exactly.
I mean,
so if you are good, if you've hit that, even from a young age, if you've hit that standard, it's Saka today. I'm a Man United fan. I love Saka. I'm saying if Man United can sign Saka, I'll be happy. I only watch Arsenal game, apart from the fact that they play beautiful football. I'm not taking anything away from them. Apart from the fact they play beautiful football, the only reason I watch Arsenal, two people, Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka.
They're Arsenal fans. You see, this man is right now poaching your players. Just watch out. Look at Wembley's eyes. Watch out. Okay.
So imagine Odegaard. When did Real Madrid sign Odegaard?
It's been a while.
I think 16 years.
16 and it's 21 now. And
he's the captain of Arsenal team now.
And it's national team actually.
And it's national team.
That's what it's
and Norway.
Okay, so quick question, last one final question on this one. Do you think that modern football can still produce the likes of Arsene Wenger and Sir Alex Ferguson?
No.
I would disagree with you.
No. Okay, for example, I love to work with data. Pochettino in Tottenham has not really been bad. He was sacked. Nagelsmann in PSG had a very beautiful start. He got sacked. As you rightly said, Pativera was outstanding last season, and one day woke up and he was sacked. They can tell me mutual something.
When he came to Manchester United, the club was 20th position, 21st, and then he brought them to 11. Next season, the second or third season, they went back to 11.
Like
they went to third.
Struggle. So tell me, like first season was a struggle, but the club saw some things in him, and which I feel it was bringing something new. And yeah, they give him time. Though yeah, definitely there'll be pressure from every side, because to buttress your point, life is all about winning, and winning is always physical. The trophies you have, the competitions you go to, and how competitive your team is. So, but reality still buckles down to. I told someone, I said, if Man United did not go back to the drawing board and break the whole cards down and rebuild from the scratch, we are going to be recycling coaches all over again. You can bring in angels and nothing will work.
You can bring in angels and nothing will work. Odafe, you said you disagree.
Exactly. I said I disagree with you because you see, not because.
Why I said as in such can't happen anymore, because people, clubs, stakeholders are no longer patient with in football. It has become, as I said, it has become 80% of the business than the 20% of what the game is really all about. Football used to be a relief. Football used to be as a beautiful part of where everybody escaped to. But now, everybody, the lawyers want to come into it. The brands want to come into it. As in, a lot of pressures coming towards Ronaldo. Coming towards Ronaldo back then. Why Ronaldo really burst out was because he had a lot of brands that were all over him. It needs to be playing. It needs to be selling their brands, because they've paid a whole lot. Pressures will be coming from the brands, pressures will be coming from the club, as in pressures will be coming from the family, from a lot of sides. So it has become more of the business. So when a coach is not really delivering right, mention one team in the last 10 years that has withered for 5 years, aside Arteta, when they are not really doing well. Mention one other club in Premiership.
I'm going to say something. Why I disagree with you? I'm going to say something. Apart from, so there are different sides to it now. Yeah. Apart from the ambition of the coach now, right? Take a Pep Guardiola for instance. Pep Guardiola did well in Barcelona. Yeah. He left Barcelona and joined Bayern Munich. So from Bayern Munich, he went to City. So imagine a Guardiola staying in Barcelona for the amount of years, even if he doesn't stay for 26 years, say he stays for 10, 15 years. That's a success. He won the Champions League, he won the league, literally won everything with Barcelona. He went to Bayern Munich, he didn't win the Champions League with Bayern Munich. City,
he took everything in Germany.
Yes, everything in Germany except the Champions League. In England, to City, literally won everything except Champions League. So imagine this guy stayed in Barcelona for 10 years, 15 years. We would also be putting him in this conversation. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to give you another manager, Ten Hag. I'm not saying this because I'm a Man United fan. No bias here. Okay. Ten Hag is a tactical coach, just like Arteta. Arteta learns from the best. He learns from Pep Guardiola. Exactly. Ten Hag is a tactical coach. So I see Ten Hag, even if Man United, fine, we won a title this season already. Even if next season comes, it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean. It doesn't mean. Even if he goes next season, Man United goes trophyless next season. I've been a Man United fan since God knows when. Do you understand? After Ferguson, I have never enjoyed watching Man United till Ten Hag.
I think for a lot of people would actually agree with you on that fact. And one of the beautiful things is to see how Ten Hag has been.
Before we go into another topic, I think Ten Hag, Pep Guardiola, and Mikel Arteta will be great coaches. And I think yes, Pep Guardiola is a great coach already. So Arteta and Ten Hag are still coming. They're still young coaches. So yes, I think they're going to do well also. And I feel Arteta is going to spend more years in Arsenal. Yes, or at Arsenal. Sorry.
This is not the end of the discussion, but this is one question I'd like to throw out to everyone out there. Now, do you think that some clubs or clubs in general can still have the patience to endure the same way Manchester United and Arsenal endured with Sir Alex Ferguson and then of course Arsene Wenger, such that we can now talk about them as the greatest of all times? If you agree that clubs can still endure, please comment below, and if you think otherwise, comment below. Keep it locked and don't go away. Of course, this is Win Sports, and then of course this is Backyard, produced by Win Sport, and of course my two biggest Manchester United fans are still in the building. The man who consistently believe, and Odafe. Yes, Odafe is a believer too, and Odafe is just not the kind of believer. Is a cool, calm, and collected believer. who would argue certain facts with you when you say something wrong. Keep it locked down, don't go away. We'll be back after this timeout.